we'll do a really quick, short rundown of my lab. Here's my main computer area. Everyone thinks I am absolutely nuts for this extra wide 36-inch desk, but the keyboard tray, we'll get back to that. We got our dual monitors, a couple of shelves, still installing the hard drives and all that. Radio gear, thin clients, and we've got this floating panel. We'll go back to that again in a minute. Panning to the other side of my desk. This is going to be the workstation. Don't bitch about the mess. Still redoing all of that. Recently installed some more storage space up there. And I want to continue it over there. Oh shit, look, more radio stuff. I wonder why. There's the lab closet. Unfortunately, this is the problem. They're glass doored. Son of a bitch. They got mirrors. So it's really hard to do any kind of recording because fucking mirrors. These are pretty much just parts bins. I've done stuff about these before. I got a bookcase down here that everything's sitting on, but if you notice, everything looks like it's leaning forward. It's because the whole house is slanted. There's a sort of, like, if you look at my chair, how it sort of tilts, and my computer is kind of tilted down there. Yeah, no, it's not a funny camera angle. It's frankly because the floor is fucking crooked. So, let's get our fat ass into the workbench. Here's the new rework station. Now, I made this mod because this is supposed to sit here, right? That's in my way. I can't get to the drawers. I can't get to the bins. Just fuck off. So what I did was I took a hard drive magnet and just threaded a, like, where the fuck is it? There are tons of these things everywhere. I don't know. Here they are. I just clipped these things off of another project. I've saved them. I didn't know if I was going to use them. That's what I use them for. Now this is the main parts where I'm going to keep all my shit. This is where I can reach in down here. I've got all my soldering stuff for now. I'm still planning this out. I've got no structure to this. We got the bits for the solder station. Then in here I've got various Pookie tools and drill bit kit, as well as, this is the opening shit up drawer. These are going to be for test probes, more test probes for the O-scope, and this hasn't been cleaned out yet. Coming to this side, you kind of got to think of ergonomics. Whenever you're thinking in a lab, I always think, look up and to the left. So, like up here, maybe I should turn this off. Okay. So these bins up here actually have some often used projects, maybe some dev gear. So when this is out of the way, the idea is that when I'm working, I want to be able to go from the desk, here's all my tools. I don't want anything to be out of reach. Like, those screwdrivers are out of reach, so I got to bring them down. So when you're planning a lab out, you got to think, even though that underneath here, there's some space, I put these bins so along the bottom here, that way whatever I'm working on, like, this mess of shit, they're just temporary space for whatever you're working on. Always make sure, like, I've always got, like, some CD spindles and some old, like, pill fobs and stuff like that just laying around, because you're always going to have screws and crap that are going to be everywhere. But the whole flow of the lab is kind of like this. So I'm going to back it up a wee bit. So we got the electronics with all the hardcore tools. Notice, like, on this side we have more of the heavier tools for housework, but now we're getting into electronics engineering and all that kind of stuff. And up there's the coax, the cutters, the heavy metal stuff. Our electronics parts. So when I'm sitting at my computer bench, right? Sitting in my computer chair right now, and we got all this groovy radio stuff, and what the fuck is up with this floating panel? So I installed this floating panel. It's on an arm. The main reason was just so I can turn it sideways. Just fucked the whole thing up. But I got the thin clients, or a couple of computers, way up there. As well as some networking is going to be installed soon as well. But the point being is, I have a air-gapped computer, just a little shit box that I could use with my radio gear, and sometimes I just need a small little panel. Or I might just be working on... Let me back it up a bit. Maybe I'll be working on something, and right there, it just so happens I have some TV tray tables that fit perfectly. So I use that monitor, which is VGA. I'd like to get one that's VGA and HDMI, but fuck it, free is free. But it's just nice having that there when I have to test a laptop or a computer or something. And here's a little interesting thing I want to point out with the shelving. Okay, I originally had all of the shelving basically go nut to butt. But going up and down, I basically need like a cable trunk line because the computer's in the bottom. So the computer needs power, network, and USB, software-defined radio, audio, a whole bunch of shit, which is basically trunking all the way up. And I was expecting to put my networking gear all up here, but when I wound up having the shelf like this, where they're completely together, I realized having to pass cables when having this edge to edge like that was a fucking nightmare. So I'm a little bit happier that that this shelf is a little bit smaller. All these shelves are just scrap wood. Oh yeah, the desk. Let me explain the desk. So it turns out I found this desktop in the garbage. There's a seam over here, if you notice. I had to go... Okay. Now you're making me go low and dirty, you little fuckers. Under the desk. Notice I had to patch that seam together just a little bit. And while we're under here, how I attached the desk to the wall. Ugh, man, it's like I'm Spider-Man or some shit. I took 2x4s and I lined it across the wall. And every 16 inches on center, there's a stud which adds structural support. So I basically just took some old recycled 2x4s and I put them at the correct height, and the desk just lays on top of the 2x4s, and then it's bolted down. And then I just made a simple box frame for a center support, because like if you really expect this kind of desk to not bow in the middle, like I need some kind of weight here. And there's that, overly powerful subwoofer. God, that thing does structural damage to the house. Gotta find a small one. So, that's my lab. For now. Got a lot of work to do. Pretty sure I forgot a lot. Questions and comments. Eat shit and die.